Welcome, Truth Nation. I'm Tonya Wilder, the host of The Truth Ain't in Us. And normally, women, we've had our opportunity to tell our side, to tell our story. But tonight, I am sitting down with three awesome men, who's going to talk about religion, relationships, family, faith, and so much more. And I just thank God for this opportunity, first and foremost, to actually sit down with you gentlemen and have an open conversation. Just to hear you guys speak your truth and, talk about things that truly matter and talk about things that a lot of people may have questions about at the end of the day. And to just have a man's perspective on things, right? So I want to welcome to The Truth Ain't in Us, Rod Boyd, LaVon Lewis, and Jonathan Wilson. Welcome to The Truth Ain't in Us, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us here.
How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing great.
We're good.
All is well.
No complaints.
Yeah.
Awesome. So when you hear the term Men Tell the Truth Night, what does that mean to you? And I'm going to start off with you, LaVon.
You say men tell the truth.
Men Tell the Truth Night. That's what this show is about.
I think that, I think a lot of things about men and women, but we're talking about the men now, are like, we want to demystify them tonight, right? So, to talk about what men really think about things, our perspective. Sometimes it's things we feel like we can't talk about, right? Sometimes men feel like, they could get emasculated or they could be called weak or all these kind of things, right? But at the end of the day, men and women, we're all human, right? We're made of emotion, flesh, all these things. So people feel things, right? And I think the more vulnerable and honest and transparent you are, the better. We know what we're working with. So that's how I feel about it.
Oh, awesome. And what about you, Jonathan?
I grew up in a house full of women. So you had no choice but to kind of divulge in the truth all the time because, women can see a lie from a mile away. So I kind of always have tried to shape myself in just open communication and telling the truth because that's the only way we can get to the end goal.
Awesome. I like that.
Yeah.
And for you, Rod?
Yeah, I agree, right? Men tell the truth, whether it's by words, and I think sometimes people are limited to just the words.
Yeah.
But men tell the truth by their actions also, right?
Good.
So not only by the things they say, and sometimes people look at just the words they say and not looking at the actions. Sometimes a guy is trained or been raised to not be as vocal, but they express their truth, if you will, or truth in their actions, how they show up, the things they do. And sometimes they tell the truth by the things they do that may not be as positive, and the words they say, they don't really go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So I do believe that. In some capacity, men tell the truth, yes. I'm supportive of the brothers, right?
Yes, but, when I think about it and just thinking from a woman's perspective, a lot of men don't tell the truth.
Why would you say that?
I don't know if you guys are on social media and keep up with the times and what's going on. And we see a lot of relationships fail right in front of our eyes. People run to social media. But it's refreshing to hear you guys, willing to be open and honest, and just, it's refreshing at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that we all have experienced friends, family members, relationships that went left because of a lie.
Right.
And I think men do have a hard time. Most men, not all men, have a hard time being honest at the end of the day.
True. Yeah.
Would you agree or disagree?
100%. I do. I believe
you over there making a face, so I know, boy, you have a different response.
Well, again, I said when you say things on social media, people making statements, I think it comes down to what I originally said. If someone is complaining that man lied to me, my question is always, did he really? Or were his actions consistent, right? Or did you manipulate, did you change the narrative from what he was actually showing you?
That's it.
Versus, what you had, what you wanted him to be doing, what you want him to say, how you want him to show up. But if you look back, if you pause and reflect, you would say, you know what, he was consistent, right? He never really checked on me. He never really did this. He only called me at 2:00 in the morning. He only did that,
So are you saying women should not base trust off of the word, what a person says, versus it should be more of the action?
Yeah, I'm saying it's
That's
twofold.
what it sounds like.
Yeah, I'm saying it's twofold, right?
Yeah.
That you look at what someone says, but then you back it up with the actions, right? Otherwise, just words. Because then the flip side of this, and we all know, I'm sure most of us, we only hang with brothers who are in a certain circle and move a certain way because that's how we carry ourselves. But there are always individuals that will say things, or the old phrase, I can show you better than I can tell you, right?
Yes.
So to answer your question, should women not listen to what men say or what people say? I wouldn't say that. It's not one or the other. I think when we start to dissect things by all this or all that, that's when you get into problems. There's no one thing that's going to fix everything. Look at the behavior, look at the actions, and look at the words. See if it all matches together. So I think it's a comprehensive view of how you're interacting with someone.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Oftentimes, one thing means the next, right? So if you meet a man and he says, hey, I'm not ready for anything serious, but I want to date. Most of the time, a woman hears, well, if I see him consistently,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I'm changing his mind.
I could change him.
Absolutely.
And see, the way it kind of works, not all the time, but most of the time, a woman can meet a guy and not feel him, and over time, fall in love and change. Men kind of don't do that, right? It's kind of like when we meet you, it's like, I found my wife the day of, or love at first sight. Or if it's not that, we all kind of know. It's not like we're like, you're a no, and then you turn into a yeah. That rarely happens with a man. So he might date you consistently, but he said he wasn't ready, right? And so you kind of just gotta look at, is he proceeding forward? Is he buying you flowers? Is he saying good morning? Or is he just a good time on Thursday night for dinner, right?
Yeah.
And so what he means is that he's speaking to you. You just got to listen instead of what you want it to be, right? Because it's not going to progress unless he's saying it's progressing.
Yeah.
Right? Is what he said in the first place unless he tells you again.
And it's funny that you should mention that, because one of the questions I wanted to ask you guys was, whenever a man meets a woman, do you believe that he knows right away whether or not that person is going to be his wife? Because I remember meeting my husband, and I didn't like him at first. And he said to me on day one, you're going to be my wife.
Right.
So it makes me wonder, do you men know from day one whether or not that woman is going to be your wife, or she's either married material?
Oh, definitely.
So,
yeah.
I know from the start if it's going to be just a thing or something. I mean, you definitely, because you see the traits. Just like women see the things that they see in guys, we can see the traits in women and right in that instance. So at least I can speak for myself and say that I know that it's going to be a thing or really something.
So you knew that when you first met your wife?
I met my wife from college, so I saw her. We didn't have much interactions, high and by, but once we came into each other's world and each other's circle, the certain way she moved and the things that she brought to the table, I knew that this was going to be something. Didn't know it was going to be married with kids 10 years, 15, 16 years later. Wow. But I knew that this girl was going to be something for me.
I'll tell you a real story. When I met my wife, within the first week, right, she said, hey, I'm single. I got divorced a year and a half ago, so I'm taking my time kind of thing. And I heard her say that once or twice. And I was like, no, you're not. And she was like, what do you mean? I'm like, you're a wife. You're not your wife. I didn't know she was going to be mine at the time, but I was able to see you're a wife. She's like, how do you know that? I'm like, I can just look at the way you're talking, your habits. Like, in a week, I can see that. It's like, you're a wife. You're not a woman that's going to, date the rest of your life, right? And then a couple years later, I married her, right? But it's like, I knew that a couple days in.
So you were dating with intention. You were intentionally dating at that point.
I typically do, but at that point, I was in the mood of just doing what LaVon wants to do. And here's what that sounds a way, here's what I mean by that. Really a lot of self-care, moving at my pace, letting nobody rush me, right? Kind of situation. And I was honest about that. I said, hey, emotionally, here's where I am. I'm not dating other people, but this is my pace because I'm focused on work or all these kind of things, right? And I was very honest about that, right? And then when I realized what I had in her, men have to make a decision. Because you could say, okay, well, I'm not ready. I need 2, 3, 4 years or what have you. How do you know how long you need? There's no rule book that says that's 3 years, right? So men have to do a thing where you have to step up and grow up. Or if you think this woman is a wife, somebody else is going to see it and get her, right? So you got to just be honest about where you are emotionally, and then you just grow together. But there's no rule to say, I need this much time. People say that, there's no rule.
Yeah.
That boils down to how hard do you want to work on yourself to be ready, and how fast do you want to do it.
And I think it can be said that it can be an excuse.
Yes.
And women need to recognize that and pay attention. And what is your thoughts on this, Boyd?
So these are the married brothers here. So I would say to copy his words is I've met a lot of a thing versus something, right? Prior to. So I do have a something. I met someone who is a something. And I will say, I used to hear people say that all the time. But, you know, when you meet somebody, you know, there's a spark. You know, we've all met someone that you thought that was interesting.
Yes.
Right? You just want to get to know. But when I met someone who was different, right? The character shined through, right? So it wasn't just the looks and the fat this and the da-da-da-da and the things that you may like, right? The things that you may have gotten accustomed to. It went deeper than that. And so for me, it was like, this is a little different. And so I do agree then you can see, I didn't know that was possible. You hear people say it all the time. But it's something that sparks you a little differently than the anything or the a things that you would have had in your life. And you realize this is sustaining. This is sustainable.
Right.
Right. This is comforting. This is peaceful.
That's right.
Right. Yeah.
It can be a little thing like being honest versus transparent. You know, so you can meet one woman and she could say, you know, she could have went somewhere Friday night, and then you ask her, where did you go? Oh, I was out with my girls, or I went on a date, right? Or the transparent one, which is, you're like, that's different, would be, hey, I'm going out Friday, I'm going to be out till like 2 a.m., just want to let you know, because it could look a certain way, but that's like, that's different.
Yeah.
But it's not just about that. That just tells you those are characteristics of a partner, right? Somebody you can trust with money, with your kids. If you're that transparent about that early, those are like partner traits. So that's how I see it. I look at little things and say, okay, that's sustainable, right? And I always look for sustainable kind of habits, and that tells you everything. And a man you can pick it up. They're not, you can pick it up and you can see it. You know,
and LaVon, I could piggyback off of that. It's those character traits. Like I feel like before I opened all the way up to my maid, I saw. She opened up to me and she was honest, transparent. Like, hey, this is what I'm doing.
Right.
Like, if you're going to be with me, this is what you're going to need to do. And then I had to step up because, you know, younger, we met in college. So I'm still maturing, 21-year-old. So I was like, okay, this is something that I know I like her. I love her, start to love her. I know I want to be with her. So now I have to step up so I can get into her world.
Right.
So this can be a thing. And then I started knowing that that's when I want to marry.
Right.
If I can say, I mean, what I'm hearing these brothers and all of us have been saying consistently is, as I know women will be watching this program, is that what these brothers have just mentioned and I've just mentioned is someone who sparked your interest. You saw something different because they were transparent. They were open. They were vulnerable. They weren't playing the game of, well, I'm not going to say it until he says it. I'm not going to do this until he does it. No. Because most men, you can really move in and out of situations very easily, right? But it's not to say that men are not loving as well. That's a myth, right? Men love hard also. So, but what capture their thoughts and their hearts with their spouses is someone who is open, someone who's transparent, and it's the little things, right? Just even saying, I'm going here, not because of control, but because of love. Right, and respect. Yeah. So some people almost see that as control. Your man is asking you, you got to check in. No, I'm not checking in. I'm sharing.
Exactly.
So it's a different perspective.
Right.
Correct.
Definitely.
So I think it comes down to maturity.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
And so, what's one lesson life has taught you the hard way when it comes to love and relationships? And because you're not married, you've never been married?
No.
So, speak on that. Like, what lessons has love taught you in the relationship? And have you ever been in love?
Yes, I have. Right. So, what love has taught me, I would say what life has taught me about love, if you don't mind me changing the
Go
question
ahead.
a bit, right? Is that some people they say the word love, but I've recognized that for them, love is really conditional. And most people don't understand unconditional love.
Absolutely.
And so that's what I've learned through the process of life. People love you as long as you have a nice job, as long as you can provide, as long as you move in certain circles, right? Then the love wanes.
Yes.
Unconditional love is next level. And most people in relationships don't tend to have that, in my experience. And so that's what it's taught me, is to look for and be at peace when you find unconditional love, because it is rare. Right? Most people say it, but the actions prove otherwise. So that's what I would say it's taught me.
And so,
yeah.
let me ask you. You've met some pretty good women. Great women, I guess.
Why are you all in my business?
I'm just saying, because I want to know,
Sure.
What has prevented you from making that commitment, making that next step, which is marriage?
Sure. So it's what I said earlier, right? Where things are always looking good in the beginning. And so you meet the representative, right? We all know that phrase, I'm meeting the representative, oh, this is nice, it's nice. 6 months later, a year later, can it stand the test of time, right? When challenges come, life happens, life is lifing. And so can someone hang with you through the process? Do you see me as an enemy, or do you see me as this thing? Or do you see me as just, this is this thing that we're going through, all right? So if a person makes a mistake, they're not the mistake. They're just a person that did a mistake, right? And so that's, to me, was very important. So that's why, to answer your question, for me, it was always important. Yes, I met some amazing people.
Talk
right?
about it.
Absolutely, right? But then I also met some trash, right? Let's just keep it 100, right? So I've met some toxic situations as well. And a lot of that stems from either upbringing, your philosophies of life, your culture, all those things play a part. What has always been consistent for me is the unconditional part of it, right? I was blessed because my parents are still married and they love each other. When I visit, my father still spanks my mother on her butt, right? And they still joke around, right?
like that.
And they still smile with each other. They still laugh. So I saw that. I have the pleasure, I have the honor, and I realized that most people just didn't have that. So because I had that as a guide, without me realizing it, it played an impact on my life and my decisions. So of course, if I'm not seeing that and I'm seeing wishy-washy behavior or inconsistencies, then it's a no for me.
Yeah, I guess I could go next. I grew up in a 2-parent household as well, but in my opinion, the relationship wasn't healthy. And so she divorced like when I left. But the traits that I saw in my mother is some things that I knew I wanted in a wife. So just to come back to the question, I believe that the time when I knew is that, we went through a situation that, either of us couldn't, get around. It was just a bad situation when some other people had going on, just happened to be there. And at any point in time, great girl, good girl, she could have said, no, I'm done, like, peace out. And she was like, no, come with me. You good. We're going to figure this out and we're going to be okay. And so that let me know right there is like, okay, this is a girl who cares about me. She loves me. She wants me for the better good. I need to grow and build this person. And I need to trust her, open up fully. And that's how I was able to transition.
She's going to be there through the ups and the downs, the good times, the bad times. And that's what really relationship should be about, and love should be about at the end of the day. That's where the unconditional love, kicks in, I believe. So,
correct.
And LaVon, for you?
I would say be fearless with your honesty, like very early, right? And so I give an example. A guy might meet a young lady and she might say, how many women are you dating? Now keep in mind, he's laughing.
And are you going to tell the truth?
I always told the truth.
Okay.
Yeah. And because most men don't, because we're scared of losing
something good.
So you got to get over that fear and realize it is what it is. It's best, right? So, and I'll tell you why. Because if a woman asks you, how many women are you dating? And you just met her. If you say 3, it might be a little bit of, right? But at the end of the day, women, respect it. Because when you narrow it down to just her, she's going to realize, okay, he was honest and we made progress and it's just me. rather than lying and going out a week from now and seeing you at the table with a young lady at a restaurant. You lose respect.
And let's just flip that.
Right.
Right?
Mhm.
So, and you ask that woman, how
Mhm.
many
I
people
wouldn't-
are you
I
dating?
never,
And she
I
tells
never
you.
asked that question to him. I didn't want to know.
That's the difference between men and women.
never
I don't
want to know.
Y'all, but
I read the signs though. If you're available Friday, Saturday night, that tells me everything.
After 12 o'clock.
But why? But why you guys don't want to hear that truth?
It just
Like, what is it about? Hey, I'm dating 4 or 5 men.
Just never bothered me. I feel like if you were gonna be with me, then none of that mattered. That's just my confidence, knowing like if I come into your life, even if you were seeing the other person, you're gonna drop that and come my way.
But what it appears to be is like, okay, so as a man,
Mm-hmm.
I can openly say I'm dating this amount of women, right? But when it's a woman,
Well, we're not saying it's a double standard, right?
that's what it sounds like, though.
No. We're saying let's flip it, right? We're saying women typically ask it, right? Men typically don't. That's not a double standard. It's just what women do versus what men do, right? So you can do what you want, but
Yeah.
a man typically don't want to know that information. And it's like what he mentioned. He mentioned that may the best man win, right? So, but women may be curious. The women that have asked me that in the past, they're curious of kind of where their seat is, right? And the women I've been honest with in the past, they would say, they told me later that made me want to be number one and eliminate them. They get competitive. You don't know it, but it makes them like, okay, I'm gonna step up and be it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we just built different. It's not a double standard. We just built different on what we want to know.
Gotcha. But it sounds like to me. I don't know if anybody out there is going to think the same. Like, hey, like, and what if?
I just never want to know because I'm a Capricorn. I love her and everything. I never want to think about this person that I know I want to be with. Dang, she was hilarious, Joe.
Yeah, right.
Like, I'd rather just not know because if I
So
don't,
your
what I don't
mind
know
just
won't
start
hurt me.
wondering.
Yeah, what I don't know don't hurt me.
Wandering, I should say.
Yeah.
Wandering.
I care about your character, but I don't have to know the details of your past. No.
You don't need to know the body count.
And I think I could tell. I think I would be able to tell when I meet you in the beginning.
You
Like,
can.
oh, she might have a little past.
Yep, you can.
You know.
But we all got a pass.
Yeah.
Well, some got
There's
past,
past
but
and
some got
past.
past.
You don't want to ask them questions in your 40s.
Pass got passed.
Oh my gosh, that is hilarious.
Tom Brady passed.
So I want to move more towards men and emotions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, women, we say we want you guys to be emotional. We want to see some. Men don't cry, right? Type of thing. Do you feel like when a man does show his vulnerable side in a relationship, do you feel like the woman may feel like he's soft? And that's why a lot of men don't show that vulnerability.
So, I could do it. I mean, just to modify again, I think when you say emotion, what I've learned is that some women don't necessarily want a man who's emotional. They want a man who is emotional like them. And sometimes they confuse the two. So because he's not reacting in the same emotional way she does,
Yes.
then suddenly he's out of touch.
Yeah.
No, he's just responding differently. So you can't expect a man to respond in the same emotional way that you do. So that's one. And I think for some men who get the opportunity to be vulnerable in what they believe is a safe situation, some men have been betrayed by that safe space, right? That you thought it was a safe space. So when you feel like, okay, this is my girl, I'm getting ready to share this. Look, here's a deal. You can tell now when she looks at you differently. You can tell when the respect has changed.
Yep.
Wow.
Right? Most men can do that. If you felt it was safe, she told you it was safe,
Yeah.
but it really wasn't safe, right?
That's right.
And
So now it makes it difficult for you, usually for the next situation, right? Not all the time,
and
because
that's
some
why
men are able to put
I
that.
feel like a lot of men don't share.
Yeah, and it comes down to maturity too, right? So if that's happened to you 10 times, probably you're not going to keep doing it.
Exactly.
But some people are able to navigate that and say, you know what, this was just that person. And I don't want to hold my new person to the standard of the old person. So let me start fresh. Let me start clean slate, tabula rasa, right? So, yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of it is how you raised and your background. You know, like we was, like I said, most boys are raised not to cry. Most boys are raised like, hey, be tough, get up, shake it off. Don't tell everybody your business. They don't need to know that. So when you get into those deeper relationships and somebody start asking you these deep questions, I feel like I don't have to answer it. And that's a part of the growth. And that's a part of the trust and the unconditional love. Like, I trust you enough to know that if I tell you that this happened on that day, that 2 weeks from now, you're not going to throw it in my face and try to make me feel bad about it. And if that was the case, I can say it to you like, hey, I didn't like that you did that because it made me feel this type of way. That comes with time and growth. I don't think there's many men that just off the rip like, hey, this happened to me when I was 8 years old. Like stuff like that. Or, so I think that's just time, growth, and, the person, and speaks to their character as well. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would agree with what they both mentioned. I think it's a healthier thing because the emotion comes out somewhere, right? Some men get violent, some men raise their voice, some men do all kind of things, right? So I think it's just wise to just let a guy have that safe space. I like what he mentioned. Like I've said before, hey, when you say this, I don't like how I feel when you say that, right? Because you begin to talk about the real issue, not the thing you think it is, the real thing, right? When you kind of are able to talk like that,
yeah,
and you can map it back to where it came from. So, yeah, I think that safe space is very important. And a lot of men feel like they can't. They just go tell their friends or they lash out and all these things.
Do you guys, any of you, ever have a moment where you cry? Like, I mean, for me, sometimes it can be refreshing. It can be relieving, a relief for me mechanism, actually, sometimes.
Yeah.
And if so, do you feel like you're looked at as being weak?
What's that? What's crying?
I'm joking. Was crying?
I mean, for me, like if I was to cry, like somebody had to be like sick and or dying,
We
or like
talk
hurt,
about that,
or very hurt. Like
yes.
I don't I think for men, I don't really see like, oh man, the roses. I don't know, like I don't see like that happening for most men.
Right. Yeah.
I think it's like, like we're born to be, and we're raised to be like tough and strong and be there and hold it down for everybody.
Yeah,
so
I like what he's. It's hard to explain it. It's kind of like I don't cry either, but if a emotional moment happens, I will tear up and I won't hide it, and I don't think it's weak, right?
Yeah.
But it's like it can be the saddest thing happens right now. I'll look at it and feel it all, but I can't cry.
Really?
Yeah, it just I feel what you're feeling. You might be crying, but I just don't. Now, may I tear up? I might tear up a little and rub it, but yeah, it's just I guess it's just how we built,
I'm at a stage now of like happy cry.
Right.
Like, oh man, my son just got a touchdown. Right. Like, man, son, like, ooh.
Yeah.
Like, or like somebody like sick or dying almost, whereas I'm like, dang, I'm by myself or I'm with her and I'm feeling that emotional and I just might have to let it out. I'm probably not weeping and, going all convulsive, but it might be like some tears rolling down.
Yeah, but what about like you were in love with someone and you guys, you break up or whatever, and there's no emotions, there's no crying,
We're not.
No one shed no tears.
So the thing, we're not saying emotions. It's just.
I'm talking about shedding some tears.
That's how, I'll be honest. Like my dad passed away maybe 20 years ago. Had no issues or nothing like that. I felt the sadness for years, but I never teared up. One time I thought something was wrong. Like maybe I should make myself. But I felt what anybody would feel. I just didn't cry. So, but I felt it for years after that.
So you're asking the question because you want to see us respond again.
You want to see us cry?
Like a woman.
I just think that maybe you guys need to shed a few tears.
Yeah, but we are feeling it. We are saddened, right?
Mm-hmm.
The loss of your father, the loss of, I can say that I teared up and what hit me. So during COVID, as an example, right? Within a short period of time, I lost 14 people.
Oh, wow.
That's a lot of people. Yeah. So almost every time you picked up the phone, it was a message, a phone call. So it hit me. And I'm in the shower one day and it just kind of all hit me like, whoa, like my aunt, my cousins, everybody. So at one point you do kind of, you're not, it's not that kind of a cry.
Of course, yes, of course.
So, but it does hit you. There are moments, I think, as men that, I know as men, that it becomes overwhelming where you don't have the answer.
Yes.
Because we're often, what helps us, I think, get through some things is that we have an answer, we have a way. And if we are men of faith, then, okay, Lord, I'm leaning on you. But it's like we still want to find a pathway.
Yeah.
When all the pathways are cut off sometimes, and you've gone up, over, through, you've attempted all these things, and you're still hitting the wall. Sometimes there's a moment where you feel, what am I going to do? So you feel a little overwhelmed. So you're not going to boo-hoo. But,
I'm going to tell you how men cry. That's an easy way to miss, right? So let's suppose something happened to me and he's my best friend. I might call him and say, hey, let's go to the bar, drink margaritas. And I just tell him about the situation. I'm crying.
That is your version of
crying,
shedding your tears.
And that's why when a man comes back, he's probably like different, a little more energy. But it's not that we're hot or don't feel it. It's like, okay, we had a few drinks, we talked. Okay, I think I got it now. That's crying to a man.
Right.
That's what I would do.
Right.
I would lean. I have maybe like 2 best friends in my life, and I know at any point in time on our commute from Atlanta to Fayette, I could pick up the phone and call them and be like, "Hey, man," like,
the whole ride probably.
and we just talking.
Yep.
We just talking. And that's me venting and crying right there. Yep. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so that's the men's version of relieving themselves, basically, emotionally.
Because it's safe.
Yes.
Safe space, for sure.
And another man understands it, right? Like I spoke to one of my boys the other day, and he went through divorce, 3 kids. And so he didn't have to say, man, this is tough. I just know it's tough. But we ended up speaking for almost 2 hours. Now, I don't normally talk to him for 2 hours like that, but I know exactly what was happening. But it's cool. We chopped it up. We joked around. We talked about life. We talked about how do you rebuild, without even having to address, man, I can't make it. It was just, we talked about the situation, 2 hours, we ended up laughing, joking, cool. And the key to it was the next day, we sent each other texts like, man, that was a good conversation. Yeah, that was a good conversation. That's the nice way to say, man, I really needed that, right?
Oh, wow.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
For sure.
So when it comes, you guys are all businessmen, right? And we didn't even get an opportunity, but we'll go back later. And I'm going to have you guys tell a little bit about yourself. And it'll be edited, of course. But when it comes to your relationships, as a leader, do you feel like because you make the most money, and I don't know in any of your relationships, who's the breadwinner, if it's a man, okay? Do you feel like because you're the breadwinner, you should take that leading role in the relationship? Or if you're not the breadwinner, should you fall back as a man? And I'm going to start with you, Jonathan.
Yeah. Great thing about me and my wife is that we met in college. Well, we both ain't had nothing. Well, we had to get our parents to send us money because I had a job making a little bit of money, and we both grew our wealth at the same time. And my wife, God has blessed her to take her career to amazing heights, and she does really well for herself. But I do really well for myself too. So it's never really a thing about who makes so much money because that's my helpmate. I take care of what I take care of, and that's what we agreed on. And she take care of what she take care of, and we're perfectly fine in that circle. We have buckets. This is ours. This is yours. This is mine. We come together, and we make decisions all the time financially with no issues.
But let's keep it real here. It's called The Truth Ain't in Us.
Cool.
We see on social media day after day a lot of wealthy men wealthy men. And they control the relationship at the end of the day. And it just makes me wonder, and a lot of people wonder, like when it comes to a marriage, and I get that you and your wife started from the bottom and built everything up. My husband and I did the same thing. But let's speak on you, LaVon, and on you, Boyd, because you're already established, right? And you just got married a couple of months ago. And I'm not sure who's the breadwinner in this relationship, who makes the most. And with you, you're a successful businessman as well. When it comes to that relationship, like who takes the lead as far as, and a lot of times we see men with money, they're controlling. And it's all about them at
Right.
the end of the day.
Right.
So
How does
how
it
do
work?
you? Yeah.
Well, I don't think leadership is contingent upon money, in my opinion, right? Because like my wife, she's a partner at a law firm. I own a branding agency. We both do well, but there are times during the year where she's doing better. Sometimes I'm doing better, right? And we end up okay. But when that happens, we just naturally cover each other, right? And
As you should.
and as the man, I see myself as the leader. I don't care if I made $1 this year and she made 100, right? It's like the leadership of the family and where we're going is my responsibility. So you give me your 100 and let's talk, and I'm gonna tell you what we're gonna do with it, right? If that's the case, right? So, but she's also very smart and strong in a lot of things too. So I think the man is ultimately responsible for the family, but each person has their strengths. So if you're strong financially, you do the budgeting, right? If I'm stronger, you do it, right? And I view it like a company to a degree, right? When it
And I
comes to
think
stuff
that's
like that.
fair at the end of the day, because if she's better at managing money,
Yeah.
why not let her take that role?
Yeah.
If you're better at managing money, then you take that role.
Yeah.
And I think it should be a 50-50 at the end of the day
It's a
when it
partnership.
comes to a
No matter
partnership.
no matter the percentage, this is
Yeah.
a partnership that we navigate, and we both gonna grow to be a successful business at the end of the day.
That's right.
It's our brand. You CEO, we co-CEOs. We gonna get there.
That's right. Yeah.
And for you, Boyd,
Well, I don't think it's a money issue. I think it's a character issue.
I
Right.
definitely agree.
And so often, and you mentioned social media, people are looking at if you make the most, then you should control. Or he's controlling because he makes the most. That's a character issue, right? And I think we need to debunk the myth that you are a provider, you must do that. I'm a man who believes in the Bible, right? I believe in God. So actually, the man's job, husband, is the one who keeps or bands the family together, right? God is actually provider. Now, we're taught that you are supposed to be the provider of man. That's not biblical, actually.
Good.
God is provider. You are steward as man of your family to make sure things are in line or what have you. But the burden to make sure that your family is eating and all that, that's God's responsibility. If you're in tune with God, then he's going to give you the provisions. He's going to do what you need to do. Now, you can't sleep all day and expect,
Exactly. You gotta
But,
make
but
an
what I'm
effort.
saying is that
Right,
the
right.
responsibility is say, I'm the provider. Nah, God is the provider, right? I am a steward of what God's given me. So if God's given me a wife, God's given me my children, then it's my responsibility to take part in that aspect. Some people, some men have the misconception that your role is only supposed to go and provide the money and no participation with the rearing of the children. So then you see situations where someone will work all day, they come home and they just want to relax, and then the wife, unfortunately, is having to wash, cook, clean, deal with the kids, pick them up, do all the things. So it's almost like you are married, but you're operating single.
Absolutely.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying is it all stems to this whole thought. All of it is linked together. So if I'm just looking for the provider, the money, all the things, nah. God is the provider. I'm the steward. There's a role that we place. We all have different roles. We're equal in terms of our value, but I do believe we have different roles. Right? When something goes boom in the night, I'm not going to say, hey, baby, can you go check that?
That's right.
We have certain roles.
Yes.
It's your responsibility.
Absolutely.
Right, we
Yeah.
have responsibility. And I think what happens is in our society, we are attempting to change that because everyone wants to fight that. No, there's a role. It doesn't mean I'm better than you. It doesn't mean you're less than me. It's just that there is a role. And in my scenario, I always say, look, we're all partners, but there's a managing partner. I'm the managing partner.
Yeah.
Right.
And so what do you guys think when it comes to, a marriage, you're supposed to become as one, right? Typically. And I've had some friends who spouse don't believe in sharing their bank accounts. They have no access to their spouse's bank account. They have no access to a lot of things. And my husband and I, we don't live like that. Everything is one. All of our bank accounts, everything we do. And yes, we respect each other, because if I'm going out to do something, I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to be doing this. Or he'll tell me, hey, I'm going to be doing, we have conversations.
Mhm.
A lot of people are living like roommates at
Right.
the end of the day
Right.
in their marriages. I don't even to me, that's not a marriage,
Mm-mm.
but I'm not here to give, to tell them what to do in their marriage.
Right.
But like, what's your take on, when it comes to the finances in a marriage?
I think anything's on the table. I think you should be able to see anything you want. That's finances. If that's password to the phone. I mean, people might not agree with that, but
I love that.
It's like if not,
I have my husband's. I can access his phone. I can access.
Yeah.
I have access because think about it. Something happens to him at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like, how am I going to be able to get in the
How you
phone?
going to handle the business?
Right.
Exactly. So,
and it's things like what you're asking. Like I said, I used the word sustainable. I don't think hiding things is real sustainable. So, because it may not be said, but over time, your wife could say, he never gave me access to that account. It could grow resentment, doubt. Why has he not? So over time, it may seem okay today, or people may not be saying anything, but I just don't think it's healthy long term.
Yeah, and I'm running from all of those things. Like I'm running away from not sharing. Mm-hmm. Like I'm oversharing. I'm over communicating. You can track me. You got my location. Because if something does happen, I need you to know because you're my best friend. Mm-hmm. You're gonna take care of me and make sure I'm okay. Vice versa.
Right.
So yeah,
it's true.
Like I said, I believe that it's okay to, you might have an account, and this might be the account that you take and do whatever you're gonna do, and I have mine. But we have one that we come together on, and we have plans. We plant this, and so we move accordingly. So over communicate.
Boy, I know nobody has access to your account because you're single, right? So
Facts.
There's no access to your account.
Yeah. But the hope is that someone will, right? Mm-hmm. And you move in that direction. Of course, I do businesses, so I mean, there's a difference in terms of access to business accounts and what have you. But I think if you have that challenge, then why you get married?
Yeah.
Right. What's the point of getting married? If you have this doubt, if you think you can't trust this person, then why would you even get married? Yeah. Don't do it.
It's really selfish.
Yeah. I'm not going to give this person because you don't know what they're going to do. Then why you get married? It's the craziest thing.
You're settling at that point. Yeah. If I can't trust you, then I'm settling.
Yeah.
So why settle?
I think a lot of women are out here settling.
Or lying to themselves.
When it comes to the relationship with their significant other at the end of the day.
Yeah.
We see that in a lot of relationships. We see a lot of men out here tricking.
Now, what do you mean by that?
What I mean by that?
Spending money.
So, like they meet a woman.
Yeah. Right?
And what do they call, what's the terminology they call it? Sponsorship. Oh. I know you guys have heard that. If you're on social media. So a lot of men who have money, they sponsor these women. They may fly them to another country, spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on them, which they're wanting a purse. I don't know what they want a Kelly, $30,000 purse, which at the end of the day, that purse to me is not paying your rent. Is really typically not doing anything for you. But
sitting in the closet.
Exactly. But a lot of men are doing this now. So, and they're getting, some of them may call it an allowance. They give these women allowances, and there's no attachment at the end. Well, probably sex.
Definitely. That's definitely coming along with a $30,000 purse.
So that's the new thing, boy.
So, that's not new. That's always been around.
Really?
It's probably new for social media. But you've always had affluent people. They call them call girls. They call them prostitutes. They call them kept women. They call them concubines. That's not new.
Well, that's why I'm talking about the men.
Yeah.
We call the men who do this.
Yeah.
Judge Mathis gave them that terminology.
Got you. So what your concern is that the men are doing it, but who are they doing it to, and who's allowing it to be done?
Oh no, my concern isn't about the men at all. It's about the women who allow. Well, this is what they want.
So,
that's the new thing. I sent Bridget, my producer, a video yesterday. This young lady was on a podcast saying how she has to get paid if a man's dating her, he has to spend a certain amount of money on her daily, weekly, for any and everything. Otherwise, he's not showing that he cares about her.
Right.
So she's letting, prostituting.
Is she a prostitute? No, what I'm saying is that we make things colorful, right? We use euphemistic terms.
Right.
But the reality is that that's a transactional relationship.
Video vixen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's a
But that's what's
transactional relationship.
That's what the world.
Socialite.
That's what it's becoming today. Everybody wants a bag. Everybody wants. It's like, and they don't want to do anything for it.
So-
I guess lay on their backs.
So let me ask you, I know we're on a panel of men, but there are some women that do that too, that are affluent, that have boy toys and things like that. So do you ask women, or should we ask women, why do you allow that? Why is that now the status thing? As long as I get my bag, as long as I get my...
It's not a double standard here. I think it's more... Women do it, some, but I think men do it more.
Well, the
More
way
often than a woman would.
the way I see it is, it's way more women than men.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like, what's the ratio? Like, if we Google it, it'll be like, what, 7-1?
Probably.
And I mean, so every woman can't have a husband. Like, it's statistically impossible.
Numbers game.
So if you've already made up your mind that, okay, I'm just going to do this for me, and if the agreement is fine, as long as nothing crazy is going on, like the whole situations that we see on social media, the Diddy, things such of that nature, then, hey, to each is their own. You got people who want to be married and be in relationships for 30 years, and you got some people who just want to have fun and never want to get married, settle down, have kids.
You have a daughter.
Yes.
So...
So hopefully my daughter is raised in our home and she see what a healthy marriage looks like, and she want to attain that for herself as well. A lot of the girls, they'll probably tell you that they didn't grow up in a home with a two-parent household, seeing a healthy marriage, so that might be the reason why they chose to live that life. So that's just my opinion. What's the ratio, Britt? I can't see it.
48, 51.
3 to 5 million more women than men.
Ooh. Wow.
I mean, so
A lot of options, huh?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh.
But it's interesting that you would say that this is not a new thing. It's new for social media.
Yeah. If you look through history, that's always been the thing, right? You talked about FDR, president in the 40s, had a, quote, side person, right? JFK. People talk about Marilyn Monroe and all.
Monroe.
These are not new things. There's always been kept women. They had an apartment downtown, right? They had an apartment in the city.
Yeah.
Away from the family, right? So that's what I'm saying. It's not new. Or grandpa who had a family across town,
right.
Absolutely.
It's nothing new.
That's true. Yeah.
We're making it as if it's new, as the Bible says, nothing new under the sun.
Well, what I think is new, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, what I think is new is this mindset that the women have. I'm a baddie. Okay. It's all about the bag. It's all about the trips. Speaking to a gentleman the other day, he said he lost a relationship because his girlfriend was like, everybody's on social media. Their man is flying them there, buying them this, buying them that. And he was like, listen, I'm in college. I don't make that type of money. I work. He said, who's to know where we're going to be years from now? But you can't be comparing this relationship to what these other women are doing. And she broke up with him. He said to go be with someone who could fly her here and fly her there, but now she's not happy.
Ain't lose anything.
She belonged to the streets, man. Get you one of the guys on the football team getting an NIL or something. I don't know, but she belonged to the streets. What's that stat again? 3.5 more million women? Hey, brother, you can go and find something.
Yeah, I remember I was dating one time and I think I dated a woman in 2 or 3 weeks, and she was like, hey, this guy DM'd me today, said he would buy me a bag and this or that, and why haven't you done it? And I was like, why you not on a date with him then?
Absolutely.
Like, what are we talking for? We don't do the
Transactions. Yeah, that's crazy.
I think what's changed is there's a word, now you don't have any shame. And I think that's what's happening in our society now. So yeah, that's always occurred. We're seeing it at higher levels because now the mindset is, girl, do your thing, get you, don't let anybody control you. So now it's almost like we are celebrating what used to be shameful.
Yes.
And that's the problem that we have.
Absolutely.
Right? So no one is holding anybody accountable. If you hold anybody accountable, you feel like you're trying to hold me down, toxic masculinity, well, all the things that people say, right?
Yeah.
Just by you holding someone accountable, say, that may not be the good look, right? That may not be a good move right there.
Yeah. And all of this stuff we see is not reality, like statistically, right? I mean, the average U.S. household is like 60, 70,000. That's
And less.
husband, wife combined, right? That's the average. So the stuff we see is just that's not real, right? That's what it's called the top 1% for a reason. Is 1%.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So it's like that stuff is just not reality. So you just have to anchor things in real character type situations. So
Absolutely. I totally agree.
yeah.
Totally agree. So let's get to family, right? Family, religion, how that plays a part of your life. You guys being successful. And when it comes to family, I don't know if any of you, I know my husband and I have experienced, because we make a certain amount of money, getting that call every week.
Oh yeah.
Somebody's lights getting turned off.
Uh-oh.
Somebody, they can't buy grocery. They need this. They need that. It got to the point where I had to start saying no, and I felt bad at first. But I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not Bank of America.
Nope.
So how have you guys handled your success when it comes to family? And even hearing some, I'm sure you've heard, you think you're better than us.
For sure. For me, you might still do that for the one or two that you really care for and like really needs it, and they're gonna do the right things with it, and they actually love you, and there's no judgments on, But it just comes a part of maturity and growth, just knowing like at one point in time I might have been doing that for you, but I've grown and I've known that I could cut you off from that, and I don't feel no type of way about it. And so I've been in that situation, and that's how I grew from it. It didn't feel good. Because, of course, now you lost that person and they probably talking so bad about you to this person, that person. But at the end of the day, you realize, like, them people who they talking to don't even matter to me.
Exactly.
So it's just a past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So family, coming at you for money. I'm sure you guys have heard, you think you're better than us at the end of the day. How do you deal with that, Boyd?
So what I've learned is you can help somebody for 12 months straight, for 2 years, for 3 years. The minute you say no, or you're not able to, or now's not a good time, you're the worst person in the world, right? And so you have to navigate that in terms of, are you enabling or are you helping? And so I usually take the position of, what is the objective? What's the situation? Is this truly a need, or is this something that you place yourself in, right? Like, you need to pay rent. Get it. Cool. So you're short of your rent money. Was it because you lost your job? Because you went gambling?
Right.
They
Right.
don't want to tell you that part. When you start asking questions like Bank of America, when you go get a loan,
100%.
they want to know your business.
But usually that kind of questioning, then usually they'll back away.
Exactly.
So that's why I do it. So, tell me, what's going on. Again, it's not that you are interrogating them, but you want to make sure that this is not, I'm not enabling the bad behavior. You're interrogating, right?
What am I investing my money into?
Yeah, I'm not throwing money, like, I work hard.
Yeah.
Like, most of us have had to grind to get it out the mud or do whatever you had to do to get there. So you want to enable, you don't want to enable, rather, you want to encourage, you want to uplift. So what's the reason why if you're calling me every 2 months, that means this is the same problem. This is not an emergency. This is not a mistake. This is an every month, every other month scenario. What are you currently doing? And in those situations, I can recall where someone, there's someone I know who, was having financial challenges, works a full-time job, has a child, all the things, but they're getting high-end seafood every weekend, right? They're going shopping every other week. Now, they're not directly talking to me. They're talking to someone I know, but I'm like, well, that's the problem right there. So I would never enable that kind of situation, right? You're not experiencing lack because just your ends aren't meeting. You're destroying the ends, right? You're destroying the methods.
I've lost some family members.
Yeah.
Friendships over loaning people money and not paying me back, or when I call, like, when am I going to get my money back? It's been 2 months type of thing.
No answer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you almost have to give it like you don't expect it back, right? So an older guy said it to me years ago, that whenever he lends money, he just figures, I'm not going to.
Well, that's where I've gotten to.
Yeah.
But I don't loan money out
There
just
you
like
go.
that. But if I do, I'm going to give it to them.
Yeah.
I don't expect it.
And
back.
when you do that, you got to cap the amount.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I do that too, but it's the cap.
Yes.
Because you can't just be, and I like everything he said. I'm not even gonna. I mean, it's perfect. It's just in addition to that, what I try to do is, like, people have to be kind of educated, right? They'll see that you're successful and they just think it's a flow. I remind people constantly, like, I got employees to pay.
Mm-hmm.
I have a mortgage. I bump into you around my office. I got to pay for that office, right? I got to pay for it. There's context to what we're talking about. You can call me any given day. I'm in the office 12 hours, right? So it's kind of like I work very hard, and I've done that for a very long time.
Yep.
And
they don't realize that you've put in the work to get to where you are today, and that success doesn't happen overnight.
Right.
You know, most of us weren't born with a silver spoon in our mouth, or anything like that. We had to get it out the mud at the end of the day, and people are counting your money. They're looking at where you live, what you're driving, and they don't understand that. Yeah, but I got bigger bills.
Mm-hmm. True.
My bills are a little bit bigger.
They are. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I always watch out for those people who like listen real hard too. Like they know you might have got a new deal, or you open some new access some new account, or you got this promotion, and now you kind of big money, or or let me hold something. I know you got it, or so I always watch out for that too, and that's automatically decreased out of my life.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people don't understand that mindset. I mean, it's context. It's like he say, big deal. You can get a big deal, but maybe that deal is over a year, and there's 10 team members working on it, and there's taxes, and it's not all at once. It's context, right? It's like, and even if you explain to some people that haven't lived it, they just don't get that.
Don't get it.
Right? It's not like I got this big deal and I can go to Six Flags. It's like, go to Range Rover or something.
So who grew up in the country here? Any of you? So I know I grew up in the country, and every time I go home, I can be in a grocery store and somebody sees me. Hey, cuz, buy me a pack of cigarette. Hey, cuz, buy me a beer. It's like, oh my God, like what you giving me at the end of the day? As always, you got your hands out. Like, do you experience that when you go home?
I have. I went home one time and someone was like, hey, pull your debit card out and pay for my drinks. I was like, no. I was like, no.
I got one better.
Ain't seen you in 10 years.
I got one better. One of my cousins, she actually lives here, and I went to the grocery store. She came to ride with me, so she's putting stuff in the buggy. I'm shopping. I'm putting stuff in the. So I'm thinking, well, she's gonna pay for her stuff when she gets up there. Well, when we got to the register, she's like, "Hey, pay for this for me, cuz." And I was caught off guard. That's a whole nother thing when you're caught off guard.
Yeah.
And then you think about it later, like, I should have handled it this way. I should have said this. I should have said that. So now I've always got my guards up.
Yeah.
Any of you, like, do you feel that way? Like you always have to have your guards up?
All the time. Yeah.
I don't.
You don't?
No, because I mean, you can't tell me what to do with my money. So I'm very direct with it. So I lay the foundation and the expectation right away, right? So I don't like to feed entitlement. So I think when those things happen for me, I'm like, okay. So I'll make a note of it. And then my circle gets smaller, and my circle gets smaller, and my circle gets smaller.
And it is what it
right?
is.
And it becomes it is what it is, right? Because as you said, there's a difference. And I don't know how many other communities do it, but I'm really passionate about helping our community to change our mindset, right? We have this thing where we want to all look good and smell good and floss and do all the things. But the minute that some of us get it, instead of us copying the blueprint, we now expect the other person to now hand it to us.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I don't know any other group that does that, right? Now, it's not all of us. I get it.
Yeah.
But I want us to change that mentality. It's so suffocating. It's so stifling, right? It limits our full growth. So if 3 of us are able to do some things and then we're having to feed 15 people behind us, look at how it limits our growth.
That's right.
Yeah.
But if 10 of you would just join us in the push, we can actually have 100 more people.
But they don't want to put in the work.
Correct.
And they don't listen. So this man just hit it on the head. Like, I've obtained this, whatever I've obtained. You might want to sit down and talk to that person and like put them on game about it.
100%.
They won't even take the class or even try to sign up, take the next
themselves.
step because they just want it from you.
Right.
Like I'm trying to put you on game, and you're not even listening. So and like you said, our community that just might be the way. Whereas in some other communities, it's like I'm gonna do exactly what he did because he gave me the blueprint. So
Yeah, I think it boils down to they don't want to invest in themselves. And what I've always told people on my team that work for me is if you don't invest in yourself, who else will? Because at the end of the day, if I'm taking my money to invest in you, you're not going to see the worth.
right,
You're not going to see the value at the end of the day or the struggle. You haven't lost anything,
That's true.
you know? And I think that mindset they need to change as well because it's all about give me, give me,
Yeah.
give me. What can you do for me at the end of the day?
let me give you some game so you can get like me.
Yeah. And
Knowledge is power.
Yeah, and with respect to our community, amazing, phenomenal, talented people, generations, right, of talent, the things that we've been able to build in spite of. That's amazing. It's beautiful, right? How do you have successful families? How do you grow businesses when the laws are set up in a way to keep you down? I mean, there's no other group of individuals in this world historically that have fought this kind of fight. So it is a smaller percentage, but unfortunately that percentage is a loud percentage, right? That's always looking to say, hey, I want to be entitled. I should get this. I should get this. We got to grind. We got to stick together. We got to plan. We got to build. We got to listen. And you're right. Many a times you would sit down and you offer information, you offer game, but it's too much, right? Oh, it's going to take 6 weeks. It's going to take a month. It's going to 6 weeks to change your life. What? Right? But you will go through the same thing for 6 years.
Yeah.
And still be in the same situation.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It's an adjustment. It's a character defect. It's a mental flaw. And we don't hold each other accountable enough within our families, within our circles to say, you know what? I'm not going to enable this behavior. Right? I've watched you do this, right? We all know the uncle and the cousins who, is always calling because, I need to call you because my son need to get this.
Yeah.
My daughter need to get this. And every year for 10 years, it's been the same thing, right?
Yeah.
You've basically put their kids through school.
Yeah.
Right.
And we keep doing it. So when do we get to a point where we say, you know what, enough is enough? I did it the first year. Let me show you what I've done and you can learn. And if not, then unfortunately it is what it is. And sometimes our heart takes over and we don't want people to suffer. I take a different stance now, right? This may make you not like me, but I'm like, well, if you don't want to learn, if you want to listen, if you don't want to take the steps.
They just wanted to take.
Right.
Then maybe you got to go
Blood
through some
suckers,
suffering.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, and it's interesting that you would say that because I was going to say, are you holding yourself accountable for allowing that person to continue to take from you? You're enabling them at the end of the day.
I don't enable. I tell you a real story. I had a family member one time call me and say, hey, can I borrow X amount? And before I answered the question, I heard another family member behind him say, what did he say?
Ooh.
What?
Ooh.
I was like, oh, really?
Oh, y'all tag teaming me.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Like, can I borrow X amount? What did he say? And I heard that and I'm like, no. Right? And that has been almost a decade. I hadn't let him borrow a dime.
Yeah, me.
Right? Because it's disrespectful and hurtful
Yeah.
at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
Yeah, me personally, like if I saw that you were like a youth, right, a younger youth, like I saw you in college grinding, I saw you like showing me that you're trying to take yourself to the next level. Then I think if you called me and you reached out to me about some financial situation, I'd be more inclined to help you.
Yeah.
But if I see you working like some dead end job or not doing much of nothing at all, then I don't want to help. So there's no problem with me helping, but I want to see that you're, like you said, making that investment in yourself as well to try to better yourself.
So we are at the end. So, but before we go, I do want to ask you guys, what advice can you give to the younger generation, whether female or male, about owning their own business, education, self-worth, loving themselves at the end of the day and not selling themselves short for the dollar?
Yeah, I would just encourage to think long term. So you start with the end in mind, Where do you want to be? There's young people. There are young people that have come to me and I say, well, what do you want to major in? What do you want to do with your life? Oh, I want to do this major, and I won't call it out, but they want to do a certain major. And the number one thing I'll say to them now is, well, look up what the average salary is for that major. And when they look at it, oh, it's $27,000 a year. It's $32,000 a year. Again, I'm not knocking anybody who's in that, but that doesn't match the dream that you have for yourself. So you have to then re-engineer the life that you want. So I'll say if you are doing that from a school standpoint, if you're doing it from a business standpoint, re-engineer what is it that you want your life to end up being and start making the steps to get there. Don't look at the people around you. That's the number one mistake that people make. You start to compare yourself to other people. You think you should be further along because of this, because of that. Everyone's running their own race, right? It's about whether or not you can get it, whether it's sustainable. It's not how much money you make, it's how much you keep. So you can make 50 million, but if you spend 70 million, then you got problems, right? So that's what I would encourage is start with the end in mind. What is the goal? How do you want to live? How do you really want to be? And then take the steps to be intentional to get there.
Yeah, I would definitely encourage them to be goal-oriented. Be goal-oriented, and all of when I was growing up, the internet wasn't even there. Now you have it at your hand. You have all these different, that's the wave that we're going towards. So don't shy away from it. Indulge yourself in it. Indulge yourself into this new day and age of all of this AI and all of the education, in my opinion, is even easier to get now because you have so much assisted things that's going to help you obtain it. So create goals, hold yourself accountable, and just take advantage of this new age that we're living in right now.
Yeah, I would say especially if they're young, start early and fail very quickly. You know, you have a lot of time to make mistakes. And I would say always educate yourself. What I make has always been directly connected to how much I know, right? And, you know, it could be an MBA, PhD, it could be YouTube, it could be asking a mentor, what have you. And something funny happens over time when you just invest in yourself, the dots connect. Right. So you go from 20 and then you're 40 and then this new big thing comes and you're surprised, oh, I can solve this problem that pays me a lot of money because I've connected the dots of all the things I've learned because I took the time to do that. So just never stop learning. People say that, but it's directly connected to your income.